Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about DNA. Part 1, DNA in your body, shocking numbers and hidden wonders. Did you know that in each of our bodies, there is enough DNA to circle the Earth? 600 times? You might be thinking, what? How is that possible? This is an amazing scientific fact, and today, I'm going to explore what that number means with you. 1. What is DNA and why is there so much of it? DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is the molecule that carries the genetic information of every living organism. It's like an instruction manual for building and operating our bodies, containing all the instructions for how our cells should look, function, and grow. Did you know that every cell in our body has its own set of DNA? And the average adult has about 37.2 trillion cells. If you stretched out the DNA strands in each cell, each DNA strand would be about 2 meters long. The total length of DNA in your body is more than 74 billion kilometers, enough to wrap around the Earth 600 times. The Earth's circumference is about 40,000 kilometers. This may sound unbelievable, but that's because of the way DNA is coiled in each cell nucleus, so small but containing a huge amount of information. 2. Why is DNA important for health and life? DNA is not only genetic material but also the basis for all life activities. It determines the differences of each person, eye color, height, ability to absorb nutrients, or even risk of disease. Therefore, understanding DNA helps us understand ourselves better, thereby making better healthcare choices. For example, in modern medicine, genetic testing helps detect early the risk of heart disease, cancer, or genetic disorders. 3. The story of DNA and environmental disasters. Speaking of DNA, I recall a case in a rural area where I used to work in the health sector. There, some people lived near an industrial zone affected by pollution. Scientists took blood samples and analyzed their DNA to assess the impact of the environment on their health. The results showed that some people's DNA showed signs of damage due to toxic substances, thus increasing the risk of disease, even passing it on to the next generation if not intervened promptly. This is a practical demonstration of the importance of environmental protection, not only for general health but also for our genetic makeup. 4. Broadening the vision, DNA and life on Earth. DNA is the foundation of all living things, not just humans. When the environment changes, the DNA in living things can also be affected, leading to biological changes, reduced biodiversity, and even extinction. Therefore, protecting the environment is protecting this instruction manual for life. Conclusion of Part 1. The DNA in your body is not just a simple molecule but also a huge and miraculous treasure trove of information. The number 600 around the Earth is not only surprising but also shows the sophistication and complexity of life. Part 2. DNA under the pressure of environmental disasters. Understand to protect health. In the previous part, we learned about the magic of DNA, a long, winding biological thread that can wrap around the Earth 600 times. But did you know that DNA is also very fragile to environmental impacts? And environmental disasters can damage DNA, affecting not only your health but also future generations? Today, I will help you understand this better, through rigorous scientific explanations and real stories. 1. How is DNA damaged by disasters? When the body is exposed to toxic substances, radiation, or oxidative stressors, DNA can be damaged in many ways. For example, DNA strand breaks, mutations, or errors during replication. Environmental disasters such as heavy air pollution from dust, industrial emissions, water pollution containing heavy metals, toxic chemicals, radiation disasters, or exposure to strong ultraviolet rays, are all factors that cause DNA to change or be damaged. This is like having a precious book. If it is torn or the letters are blurred, the content will no longer be accurate. 2. Actual impact on humans and organisms. Damaged DNA does not always cause immediate consequences, but over time, the accumulation of errors in DNA will increase the risk of chronic diseases, cancer, and even genetic disorders. For example, in a study in Japan after the Fukushima nuclear disaster, scientists discovered small changes in the DNA of residents living near the accident site. Although not all of them became ill immediately, the risk was warned to be very high afterward. At the ecological level, DNA damage also reduces the ability of many species to reproduce and survive, affecting the balance of the ecosystem. 3. A close story, a patient and the fight against environmental impacts. I remember a case when I worked in an industrial area. I met Mr. Min, a worker in a steel factory. He was often exposed to metal dust and chemicals. Through examination, the doctors discovered signs of DNA damage in his blood cells. Mr. Min not only had to change his job but also had to adjust his diet and lifestyle to support DNA recovery, and at the same time, his health was closely monitored. This story shows that although DNA is very small, the impact of the environment is so great that we cannot ignore it. 4. How to protect DNA from risks. The good news is that DNA also has the ability to repair itself thanks to cell error correction mechanisms. However, to help DNA function well, we need to limit exposure to polluted environments, especially dust and toxic chemicals. Protect skin from UV rays by using sunscreen and wearing protective clothing. Eat foods rich in antioxidants such as green vegetables, fruits, foods rich in vitamins C and E. Maintain a healthy lifestyle, get enough sleep, avoid stress, do not smoke, exercise regularly. This is not only a way to protect DNA but also improve overall health. Conclusion of Part 2. DNA is a precious biological thread but is very vulnerable to environmental impacts. Disasters, whether big or small, can cause long-term effects on health and life. In the next part, I will join you to learn more about the latest medical research on DNA, how technology helps protect and restore DNA, as well as hopes for the future. Part 3. Modern Science and Technology: New Hope for DNA Protection and Restoration. Hello. After exploring the wonders and fragility of DNA in Parts 1 and 2, I would like to share with you the amazing advances of modern science in protecting and restoring DNA, opening up new hope for human health. 1. DNA is not only genetic, but also a record of life. Did you know that DNA not only carries genetic information but also records environmental impacts on the body? Therefore, monitoring signs of DNA damage is becoming an important field of research in modern medicine. Scientists are now developing ultra-sensitive DNA testing techniques to detect damage or mutations early, helping doctors intervene promptly and prevent diseases before they break out. 2. CRISPR gene editing technology, a revolution in medicine. One of the most prominent technologies today is CRISPR-Cas9, which helps to precisely cut and paste damaged or disease-causing DNA segments. This is like correcting a faulty paragraph in your precious book. CRISPR has been successfully applied to treat some rare genetic diseases and is being researched extensively for more common diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and even some neurological diseases. This means that in the future, DNA damage caused by environmental disasters can also be healed with modern technology. 3. Functional foods and therapies to support DNA repair. In addition to technology, studies have also shown that some nutrients and natural herbs help enhance the ability of cells to repair their own DNA. For example, vitamin C, E, polyphenol in green tea, turmeric, and some green vegetables help reduce oxidative stress, one of the main causes of DNA damage. I once met a patient named Lon. After being advised to supplement foods rich in antioxidants, combined with a reasonable lifestyle, the test results showed that her signs of DNA damage had significantly decreased after only a few months. 4. Hope and responsibility of each of us. These advances bring great hope for human health, but at the same time, they also require us to be more responsible for the living environment. Because, no matter how advanced technology is, limiting exposure to harmful agents is still the most effective and simple measure. You see, our DNA is miraculous and also needs to be cherished and protected every day. Series Summary. Through 3 parts, we have together discovered the magic of DNA with its impressive length and important role in the body. Understood the impact of environmental disasters on DNA and human health. Updated advances in technology and methods of protecting and restoring DNA. Hopefully, this information will not only help you understand more about your body but also be more aware of protecting your health and the environment. If you love this series, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share to spread knowledge to more people. Thank you for watching until the end. See you again in the next interesting topics.